Man, this is dope. All right, we got about 2 more minutes. See if we can't get the start pinging everybody else. Jump in. Whether you're watching here live in the amphitheater or on stream, you'll see the same thing. The slides here is what we'll be going through. And I just realized y'all can't see that either. Give me just a second. Let me fix that. Ah,
We need some background music.
we have it. They can hear it. We can't though. It's got the menu stuff. This took me a little bit longer to put together, but the fact that there were some like transparent pings and different stuff I could pull from the download. Thank you, VB, and who was it that sent me that link?
I think Emperor needed one more invitation.
One more invitation. Who's it that sent me that link? Sim from SAI. Thank you very much for sending me that link. That helped me out big time. And so y'all can't invite yourselves up to speak?
Emperor
Yeah, I
and
sent him a thingy.
Bodhi is over there too.
I don't see Bodhi.
It has the hands.
Good morning.
Emperor, I sent you a thing. You should be able to come on up. Okay. Apologies if I'm a little bit disoriented, a little bit. This is my first one for Star Atlas, and I've got a lot of screens going at the same time. Like a ton.
Emperor's still trying, I think. He said he's on the bus.
All right. I'm going to switch over now. This is just going to have to do for today. Emperor, I sent you another request. You should be able to jump up here now. Still no go? Emperor? Take a lap. Like disconnect and come back. And there we go. So now y'all get to see the stream in all of its glory.
There you go.
Again, thank you all for your patience. I just see the three of us. I don't see Signal.
Should message real quick, just in case he's online.
Yeah, he
Sounds good.
he was confused where to go.
Oh, okay. He's
Oh, was
coming
he?
now.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
Thank you
and
all
then
for coming.
Emperor, I think, was on his phone on a bus, and he was struggling to accept the invitation.
Okay. I'll keep inviting him to speak.
Yeah.
It's all right. We can preamble this. Thank you all for
And
coming
Signal is there too.
to the first inaugural Star Atlas Council. The second one, right? Second
Yeah, second
council
term.
under term. Our tenure, our term started yesterday, Friday, and it will go on through till January 11th. So y'all are stuck with us until January 11th. What you're seeing right now are our meeting slides that we put together and went over as a team. When we do these council meetings, we will be going through kind of the same battle rhythm each time, just getting in the habit of going through a rigmarole, and then we hit our agenda. So if you've been ever in like a product team, program management, Kaizen, any of that stuff, you'll probably recognize a few of these things like stakeholder diagrams and org charts. And I'm still sending Emperor thing to speak. So what we'll do in the meantime is I'll just kind of show you all the layout of what we're gonna do.
Can you invite Signal as well? They are both trying to jump on, but you are the only one with the permissions.
Gotcha. Shadex, I don't know if you're able to do that where you can give the other council members the ability to do this. So here's what you can see. So all these slides right here. Basically, what it comes down to is we'll be going through our org chart. So each time we'll be talking. These slides will change over time. We'll end up when we figure out what our mission statement is, put that here. So that's the first thing we'll go over is our org chart, the people. Then we'll be going over our quad. This council quad is going to help keep us all together, oriented, focused on the same mission. Up in the top left, we're going to be tracking our accomplishments as we do things week to week and add to it whenever we hit a meeting. This might disappear, but the risk, issues, opportunities, things that are obstacles, things that are slowing us down, and things that are beneficial to us that we want to track at a high level. In the bottom left, we've got our 30, 60, 90, which are some important things that are coming up in the next few months. So as you can see, we're tracking council elections around the 6th. We had our incoming transition meeting with the outgoing council on the 9th. And then our term started yesterday, and our first meeting was today. So other things that we find important will go up there on the bottom left in our quad. And on the bottom right, this is very much in the works right now, where we're trying to figure out what is it that we want to accomplish as a council. I put what I wanted to do, but this part of this meeting is for us to determine what it is that we want to do and what's important to each of us. Then we've got a stakeholder diagram, basic, just kind of the lay of the land, who's who in the zoo, and what everyone's doing. Then we'll go over a treasury each meeting to make sure that we're keeping track of what is the balance versus what is the net revenue. And then we will get into the agenda. So all of that, once we get into a battle rhythm, that'll take maybe 5 minutes of the meeting in the beginning. Then we get into the meeting minutes of what we're actually going to go over when we start, when we end, our agenda, and then what it is we actually talk about in the agenda. All right. Did I buy enough time? Signal is still trying to get up. Okay. Emperor's still trying to get up. I'm spamming invite to speak.
Yeah, invite Signal as well. He has his hand raising.
Yeah, I did. I invited him maybe 5 times in a row right now.
That's weird.
Not letting us up? Okay. Join the stream, mute them, and then you can come back to Discord. You know what we can do? Is I can Discord call you all. Oh, that's going to break this then. Well, I don't really see an alternative. Stratix. Looks like he's trying to get it, but it's not working.
It seems like they're asking you to invite them, but they have to request to speak, and then I think they also
They
have
do.
to have voice activation on rather than push to talk. I'm pretty sure.
Oh.
Well, that doesn't
Okay.
interfere with the joining
No, I
the
have
stage.
voice
but-
activation.
Yeah, it should be voice activation. Oh, they're
They're
clicking
clicking accept when it says you're requested and it's failing. Okay. All right. So what's our backup plan? Our backup plan is I can Discord call you all and we can continue this on stream.
Would it be
I think
better?
it'll disconnect us from the amphitheater, but it could still work.
Yeah, that's another idea. Java channel or brew chat. Let's make sure they can get in there at least first if we're gonna do that. Maybe if Signal and Emperor, if you guys want to go to one of the other voice chats and make sure that it works, then we can't. But we can. Hey, Brian, we can still do the streamception, right? Where one person streams another person to get over the 25. Right on.
Yeah, with cameras off, you can have more people, but with cameras, it's 25.
Looks like
The
Signal
Lanzer looks good.
got in one of the chats.
Looks like we are less than 25 right now, either way.
Yeah. All right. Let's we'll disconnect from the amphitheater and we can head over to council office. Is that all open for everybody?
Yeah, that's the one we should use probably.
All right. Everybody jump over to council office and we'll see how that works. You win some, you lose. How about now?
I'm here.
Oh yeah, well everybody can talk in this one pretty much. I don't
what's
think
up,
there's
guys?
There you
I
go.
don't think there's any
we knew
sort of
Signal was a real person.
I am. Yeah, and the only thing that seems to be restricted here is it's not letting me use video. It says I need the permission from someone else to do it.
Yeah, I don't have video either.
Yeah. I think we'll just make this work since we're already 12 minutes into it. I will just ask that everyone in the audience just doesn't talk. Just mute yourself, please. That would be amazing, and we'll just make this work. We'll figure it out. Oh, somebody got it to work.
Carlos did it.
You
Okay.
cannot stream this channel. I'm not able to get in. Video or whatever.
if you send me your PDF or whatever, or it's in our chat, I can just have it pulled up while we talk about it.
Sure.
Let me see.
Phoebe said he can mute. We got hot mics. Okay, thanks, Phoebe.
You could also probably just stream this as a Discord call. Like just
That's
drop
what
a
I'm
link
doing
to
right now.
your Twitch to everybody, and then just we could do it that way.
Okay. Well, it's still going right now, and everyone can hear us, and the
Yeah, just video
files are
got
still up.
killed, and I don't know about our ability to share documents and stuff.
Yeah. All right,
I think
everybody. If you want to see the slides, go there. You'll see the
Well, I
slides
want
as
to.
we go
I
through.
want to see the slides too.
Yeah, I'm not
I
able
can
to share.
share. I think I can share.
yeah,
Let
Drum,
me
if
Okay.
you
pull
have
up the
them, pull them up.
slides.
Yeah. I was looking for them, but I'm not finding them.
Yeah, I'll pull them up really quick. Just give me a moment. Because we have a few. Okay, I think it's this one.
All right. Does it look right? Is everyone able to see the stream now?
Yep.
Okay.
If we get capped out, let me know and I'll restream it.
Cool.
All right, we can start.
Cool.
Yeah, I think Drum, you were gonna do something, right?
Well, yeah, I just wanted to say a few words. I wanted to first of all thank the other members that served in the first term. It was really exciting. We got something from and started from scratch, and it was a nice go. I think we had a lot of fun. We advanced and we set a nice structure in what it is the PIP system. And we have the knowledge base, and we have a better understanding of what the community is looking for, where the team is looking for, the foundation. It was a nice ride. And well, now yesterday started a new episode with the second season of the DAO with Turn 2, where we have 3 new members, Signal, Lancer, and Emperor. So I wanted to welcome you guys, and I'm really excited to see what we can do in these next 9 months. And just with this, I pass the baton now to you, Lancer, and let you do your magic here.
Right on. All right, I think I finally fixed it on stream. Y'all are talking, and here we are. So, like I was explaining to everybody while we were trying to get Signal and Emperor up, the lay of the land was, when we start off these meetings, for now, the battle rhythm is going to be, we go over the org chart first, and then the quad, then the stakeholder diagram, then we look at the treasury, then we start in our meeting minutes. So let's go on. Slide 2. So live meeting is not going to be amphitheater anymore. For right now, it's going to be the council office. Does it show in real time? And live stream via Lanzer, and also VODs posted via Star Atlas TV. VB and I are working that out, but most likely I think it'll end up there, either his channel, my channel, or both. And slide 3. So this is the org chart. Bodhi, Don Carlos, Emperor, Lanzer, and Signal. Underneath that is our time zones, just for us to keep track of each other. And under that will eventually be replaced with kind of our swim lanes of what we're after. But right now, we just kind of put, whatever. So that'll change. For Bodhi, we think he's a tree. Carlos is the governance whisperer. Emperor is the whip. I'm a DAO junkie. I guess we call it the maxi nowadays. And Signal is he's like this motivating extraordinaire guy. Just keeps going. He's an endless engine. Below that is April. Back to slide 3. Emperor, is that you?
Nope.
Who's driving?
Oh, me, but I.
So April 11th is when we started our term, which is yesterday. We're going to end January 11th. And when we do decide on our mission statement, it's going to go right there beneath. Right now, it's just a placeholder until we talk about it. All right, slide 4. Council Quad. So first 2 accomplishments already is we created the org chart, stakeholder diagram, the quad, all kind of these meeting minutes to get after things. Also created the DAO Council email handles, which we may or may not use to create some more stuff to help us out while the foundation processes are while we engage them. And then April 12th, which is today, we are hosting our first council meeting. Each time we have this, we will each add to the list. So for everybody else in the council, are there any other accomplishments that you all would like to note?
Now, I do want to just note that we are just in the beginning stages. I know that we don't know if this format's going to work. We are leaning on the experience of Lanzer, and I'm really excited. I hope it works. But I think it's important to let everyone know that we're trying this and we're going to see if it works. Just like, trying to hang out in the amphitheater and see if it works. Well, that did not go so well, but.
So does anybody
Yeah.
have any accomplishments they want to put down?
Not from this second term.
Okay. All right. And then
I-
we'll add to it as life goes on. Things
Yeah,
things
recently,
aren't up in
just
real
in case
time.
we want to add that there, recently just put 3 more pips for voting. 2 are
Yeah,
up right
that's
now, and a
definitely
third
one.
one is coming in the next couple days.
So pips, what pips are they?
Those are pips 11, 12, and 12, 13, and 14. But 12 and 13 are up right now.
Are you slide sharing or slide showing right now? Because it's not
Yes.
popping up as I'm. Oh, click escape.
Hold on. There you go.
There we go. Okay, you can click that little ribbon. Yeah, you already did it. Now you're good to go. Okay. So pips 12, 13, 14 are now up for voting. Who's typing?
Me.
I put it right above. Where you
Okay.
typed.
I thought that's
When did
why
they
I
go
was
for vote? Yesterday?
getting out of full screen. Okay.
Did they go up yesterday?
Yesterday were announced. PIP number 12 is going to start the voting, which is the bounties, Iris bounty. The feast is going to start the voting process on Monday. PIP number 12, which is, 13 is establishing limits on the council, the Star Atlas DAO council terms. And there's one more about to be announced in the next couple of days.
Okay, I probably missed that. So 12 is up for voting now. I'm looking at governance, and so is 13. Okay, and then on Monday we're gonna have 14?
No, 12 starts Monday, 13 Tuesday. They are up on the page, but the voting hasn't started.
Oh, got it. Okay, so up on govern.staratlas. Star Atlas. Voting starts Monday and Tuesday.
I guess technically we did take over for about half an hour in the DAO chat, the governance chat. We saw Funcracker off. Drum Carlos cried a little bit. It was kind of embarrassing, but I feel for him.
I'm not embarrassed.
Okay, it's okay.
So we did officially take over right at the switch over. So office hours, the council hours.
April 11. Second council began, I don't know, counseling.
Meeting.
And we are in the middle of signing NDAs and figuring out the nuances to all of that. That's another accomplishment.
True. When we do sign all the NDAs, probably can put that one down then. All right. 30, 60, 90. We have 3 of those are gone now. We're on the 12th. What other big important stuff is coming up? This is where we can put the pips for Monday. So on the 14th, we expect pip 12 to start voting. And then on Tuesday, is it? Pip 13 to start voting? Okay, cool. Any other
We're
things that are
gonna-
coming up?
Yeah, we're going to have to establish our regular meeting times, just like the previous council did. We have to figure out what days work for everybody. And we can't really do a whole lot until those NDAs are done with some of that. So, and then we're going to reschedule the office hours. And I would like some feedback, right? Like the way it was before. Feel free to drop in some times that work for people in the audience. It was it's 10 o'clock my time with Funcracker every Friday. So we're going to have to establish the office hours as well.
Okay. All right.
I like that we
time
moved it
for
around.
different time
Agenda
zones.
item.
And on occasion, we kind of moved it around. It wasn't super often. It was generally at the time you mentioned, but there was a couple times where we were able to move it. But there was an issue with there being a reoccurring event on Discord, and then trying to change the time. It would default back to the original time that you set up the event originally. So you kind of have to like cancel the event and then restart it in order to change the time, and then do it again when you want to go back to the original time. But yeah, that's a nice thing to do too, is kind of mix it up a little bit, just because that one's I think you only need a couple council members there, or even one would suffice, so it lets you accommodate different time zones.
Okay.
And Lanzer, in this 30, 60, 90, is that like that? Those are like kind of established action items, and is that what you're kind of looking for in this one?
Just events. Like what are
Events.
things that are going to take place? Whereas
Okay.
accomplishments are things that we did it.
Yeah.
We're done.
Right. Okay.
So not
Okay.
all 30, 60, 90 events, tasks, or milestones are going to become accomplishments, but a lot of accomplishments come from the 30, 60, 90 as we do it.
We have a
Perfect.
few pip drafts that we need to go over and start taking to the voting stage as well, because I've been waiting for a
do
while.
we?
Yeah.
Maybe we make the top right action items
Well,
because we're already
2 of those are Signals and Emperor's pips. The other one is Matt's pip, and we have the Phoenix pip. We have a few that we need to jump on it as soon as possible, so we can actually help them start the voting process.
Okay. Can you up at the top right? I just nixed the what do you call that thing? The risks, because it might not even need to do that. Can you put the new pips that we have to review
Yeah.
right there in that fill in the blank? And then decide on meeting cadence, recurring meetings. All right, so there we go. Then at a high level, these are at the top right. Those are the things that we need to do, and then the bottom right is, I don't know. We'll see about that. All right, cool. So if there's no other events, milestones, or tasks that are coming up other than the pips that are going to start voting on 12 and 13, we can go. Upcoming tasks will say all council members sign NDA. I read that NDA, and there's it does protect a class of information, but the stuff we're doing right now is not NDA'd, nor is reviewing pips, it looks like. So we can still accomplish those items just fine. All right, and after that, we can roll to slide 5.
Yeah, I think it's the KYC that is
Oh,
the
right,
prerequisite
forgot
to basically all actions. Where are we going to put the office hours? Like establishing the time for the office hours? Is that in the upcoming tasks or events?
Yep, yeah, we can put that there. Establish office hours. New office hours? Or just
Sure.
adjusted?
Just
Adjusted
put,
office hours.
and it is my goal. I would like to see more than once a week, but like I think that's something I can jump into office hours for an hour at a time at pretty set intervals, and I think Signal could do some of that too. And so I see us doing it a little more often. But that's something we're going to have to work through. And yeah, maybe we'll try something and see if it works. And if it is multiple times a week and people just know they can show up, it doesn't have to be like super official. And whenever I was in any of them, it wasn't like super crazy or official. It was just a good time to chat with people. So
Okay. When I get off baby leave at the end of next week, I will be unavailable 9 to 5. I'll have to go back to my normal job. The only time I'll be able to do stuff is after work and then weekends.
Was there another form? Because I remember putting some stuff in here, but
Yeah, there is the meeting minutes down below, which is what we'll talk about. Whereas these are kind of like
okay.
enduring tasks that cross every meeting. We'll see.
Okay, so this
I'm not working
page
this right
carries
now.
on,
Yeah.
whereas the meeting minutes is from meeting to meeting. Okay, got it.
Right.
I
Right.
think I put
I mean
some stuff
that's
in.
just what I thought right now. Seems to make sense, but like I nixed all the risks, issues, opportunities, which is very programmatic-y, but maybe we don't need that here. We'll see.
Yeah, it's worth a try. I mean, if it helps, and we'll know within a
Yeah.
couple weeks, I
All right, for
suppose.
the goals, I think each of us write down what we want and like a sentence. So for me, we're already doing my goal. Establishing the build and open framework. We're live streaming. We're doing the slides in public, and we're gonna end up uploading that as our kind of like as our documentation. So my goal is being met right now. But if you all have new other roles other goals you'd like to make known to the group, here's the place to put it.
yeah, I'm on mobile. So my goals, if I had to summarize it in a sentence, would be process and procedure.
Process and procedure improvement, or do you want to like revamp the whole thing?
No, I'm not going to fix something that's not broke, but just maybe make it more robust.
Okay.
Expand.
I just wrote all that down.
Yes.
Cool.
And I don't know where this
Mhm.
goes in upcoming tasks or goals, but man, the amount getting an email address and a phone number and getting on socials. We got a Signal sitting here chomping at the bit, ready to post some stuff on Twitter as the DAO council. So we got to figure that out. That's to me one of the really top priorities.
Well, I snagged both of those Gmails. So you can create one right now if you want to, Signal. I think we needed to vote on it, is what we decided in our group chat.
Yep.
So other than that, I snagged both Star Council and DAO Star Council. Both of them were open. So now we just need to figure out one of them we can use as our file repository, the other one we can use as our social media to kind of keep them separated from each other.
Did it require a backup, like a backup email or something that it's linked to?
It did not. And for the second one, I made the first one the backup. So So
So
we're good on that
that's
front.
in theory transferable.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
put the password in the password thing. So we all have access to it now.
Right on.
Cool. So Signal, Bodhi, when you get a chance, write in your sentence. We don't have to do it right now. And basically
Yeah,
the major
I
things
thought I
each
had.
of us wants to achieve.
I think I added it into the wrong. I think I added my goal into the meeting minutes. I'm trying to look for it right now
Okay.
because I think I had. Oh yeah, I did. Yeah. So I'll
All right,
move
no
it
biggie.
over. Yeah, so these are like long-term goals then.
Yeah. Like things that we don't want to lose track of and we want to be reminded of at every meeting.
Cool.
Cool. All right, I think we're good on the quad unless anyone has anything else they'd like to go over. Scroll to slide 5. As we figure out who's who in the zoo, right now we've got Automata and the people that we interact with, the Foundation and the 2 that we interact with. Those 4 that are dark grayed out, I know 2 of them exist because Pip2 identifies who the secretary and the supervisor is. I don't know if we have any interaction with them, but I'm not sure that we'll need to. So I think it's good to keep it as gray, and then as we figure out who else we need to liaise with to make stuff happen, then we can add them as black text. Star Council, I just put the council members. I don't think we need anyone else right now. And then there's the community. I'm not sure if community tools, other than just identifying that they're there for us to interact with and poll as voters. This is mostly just to make sure that we all have the right intelligence of who are we interacting with and where do they sit on the network Star Atlas ecosystem. Does anyone have anything they'd like to add here?
No, I think you guys did pretty good at doing that between you and Drum.
Yeah. Drum coming through with the color coordination, man. Dope. Looks really good. Way better than mine.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah. It's a good lens
Yep.
to try to define where everyone is, and I've always felt like we're in the same box as the community, and interacting on
I
behalf.
agree. Yeah, because each one is now its own entity. And when I was reading the pips again last night, I did notice, and also in the terms of service, when I told you all about the info slides down below, the terms of service also creates that legal separation, which I didn't expect to see that. But the pips mentioned the terms of service for eligibility, so I just read right through it, and Automata, Foundation, and then the DAO, and all 3 of them are separate legal personalities. Whereas technically the DAO doesn't have a legal personality, which is why it keeps getting sued in California, United States, as an unincorporated partnership. All right, I don't have anything else I'd like to go over. All right, the treasury. So we have a 1.5 mil in the bank, and looks like the vast majority of that is Atlas. So 1.1 million is in Atlas, and 400 grand is USDC, and a small amount of Sol. Just random curiosity question, where does that Sol come from?
I imagine
Are
it
we
was placed
getting
there for fees and operations in the network by just the fact that it's in the Solana network.
Okay, all right, wait, I'm sorry, I asked the wrong question. Are we getting any Sol revenue?
Not that I
No.
know of.
Okay, so we get Atlas from marketplace fees and anything else?
And USDC.
I mean, we get Atlas from marketplace and USDC from marketplace?
I think USDC from sales, from part of the fee on the sales on USDC, if I'm not mistaken.
100%.
Okay.
That's where
So
basically all that USDC came from.
gotcha. So
And that's why we
revenue
don't have any
sources.
in the ecosystem fund, because we start using a section of the USDC once we surpass the barrier of the 500K.
So other than the marketplace, where else do we have any other revenue sources?
For USDC, I don't think so, but for Atlas, we've got crafting fees, and
So that's like
local market
chain
fees.
transactions.
Say again?
Is that from transactions?
Yeah, when you craft in game, you pay an Atlas fee, and a portion of that goes to the DAO.
Gotcha. I
Similarly,
have not
in local
crafted yet,
market,
so
a
I'm
portion of
still
that.
beginner.
Yeah, similarly, a portion of the local market trading fee. It's basically the same as the galactic market.
Oh, is that
But
Sage stuff?
the difference is the local market is Atlas only, whereas the galactic market has USDC pairs on the ships.
Is that Galactic Market? Is that the website marketplace?
Correct. The local market is in game, and the
Oh,
and that's Atlas only. The difference
okay.
is the galactic market has ships, and then they have USDC pairs as well, because that's where the team
Okay.
gets their USDC.
Got it. Got it. And local in-game market is Atlas only?
Correct.
Okay. Do we have a breakout for which revenue source? Like, what does the pie chart look like for that?
It would probably be if we had it, it would be on the economics chat, or like the economic whatever
Report.
release they do.
Oh,
Economics
the
report.
economic
Thank you.
report?
Yeah.
Yeah, if
Okay,
it's there. I mean, it's all on chain, so I mean, I'm sure it's out there.
Okay.
It would be nice to develop a dashboard with exactly what is in the interest of the DAO and being able to see everything we need to see. Something like this.
Okay.
I mean, we do have some graphs there on the right. I don't know exactly what that's showing, but it's given some
Oh.
breakdown.
Carlos, go back out. I real time edited.
Oh.
So those are the 3 revenue sources. Do we have any more? Any royalties that coming out of any other chains?
You can
Not
just
at the
click
moment.
on the revenue and it shows it.
As pips roll in,
Really?
some of them might revenue, give back.
Click on the revenue and it
Hopefully.
shows it.
I believe the monthly figures that you see in that bar graph below, I think you can click on those individual bars and it should break them out.
Yeah, it shows game activity marketplace fees. What it shows.
You're not looking at the live site, so I guess that's the trouble.
Oh, got it. Okay. Would you mind linking me? I'll put it in here and I'll look at it later.
Yeah.
And one of the other things we're going to have as a revenue source is the profit sharing from some of these when those start coming in too.
Okay.
Yeah,
So we
so
have current revenue sources. We have future, or no, projected is a better word. Projected revenue sources. And what did you say that was? Profit sharing?
Yeah, that's how I would classify it. Yep. And then also in the Gallia
revenue sharing.
Merchants, in the Gallia Merchants chat that they have going on there is potential for grants too.
Grants.
I know Falcor over there brought that up.
What do you mean grants from us to them? I say us.
No,
from the DAO.
from them to us.
I don't know where to put this, but this is for December.
That's fine, Bodhi. That's fine. I do that all the time. Grants from Falcor.
Well, grants from, and maybe Falcor can put it in the chat here.
From
Yeah, he's
Gallia
typing.
Merchants.
So Well,
Wrong turn,
I don't know.
buddy.
Yeah, as best
I
as
don't
I can tell, it doesn't actually get live updated, or if it does it on quite a delay. The last data that I could see is January 2025. But yeah, it just breaks it out between marketplace fees and in-game activities. I also believe rentals, some degree of that is supposed to be
Ooh,
flowing to
rentals. I
the
forgot about
DAO, but that might be broken into in-game
You're right.
activity. But
It definitely.
but we don't have like the last several months of data posted there. So it's something
Okay.
to drill into.
So all the magic
Alright,
is in the
I'll put-
crafting.
Yeah, I think crafting is where most of it's been coming in. At least since the ship's sales slowed down.
Game activity is 86% of the income of the DAO right now. So we need more people playing.
I'll probably reach into that pie chart and create something else here. All right, so we have current revenue sources, we have projected revenue, and in the future, revenue sharing from pips, and then grants from Gallia merchants.
actually just change it from grants from underscore because I don't know where it's coming from. I just saw it in the Gallia merchants chat. It's up in the air right now. Who knows where they could come from? Maybe it's the Solana Foundation or whatever, but
Shark
I don't know
Tank.
if we're ever going to actually get anything, but it is a potential source of revenue.
I heard that Falcor was going to give it to us. That's what I heard you say.
Well, Falcor, I saw him typing it in the Gallia merchants Discord channel, and I just can't remember where he said the potential revenue source was from, the grant source.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. So then, does anyone? I see Falcor in the chat. I don't want to put him on the spot. Is anyone okay following up with Falcor to figure out who that
Yeah.
Are you
first link
talking
is?
about the Gallia Business Association? I
Yeah,
think you are
that's where I
confused.
saw it.
Is the Gallia Business Association? I was really confused because you're talking about a digital store, and no, it's the Gallia Business Association,
Business
which is
Association?
it's a
Oh, that's
representation
the
of a lot
Discord,
of the businesses related to
okay.
Star Atlas.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Okay, I got it. Yeah,
So they want to interact with the DAO, and they want to make sure that it's beneficial for everyone. So I think they're going to be coming with a very interesting proposal soon.
Yeah,
I think
ecosystem
we should make that
partners
an action
can.
item.
Yeah, well, yeah, and so Falcor put like it. So the ecosystem partners, that is a potential source of revenue. Simple.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Ecosystem partnerships with Gallia Business Association. All right.
I think the Theo project is going to be the first one that is going to have a chance to get voted, and it would represent a partnership with the DAO. Looking forward to that.
I think that can be a whole conversation in itself. So I'm gonna put down here just a note for later. Make this an action item to start pursuing that and figure out what can develop. Because I did get invited to that this past week, and I hadn't had time yet to look through it. But just the fact that there is a business association, absolutely, we should tap into that. See what sort of goodness can come out of that. That's cool. That's very cool. All right, I'll add this later, and then we can talk about who will be the main POC point of contact.
Perfect.
Is Falcor the POC for the business association?
No, I'm not gonna.
He's
Yeah.
one of them.
Yeah.
I know
Oh.
them, and Signal is also in the server. We can make the link. I'm part of it.
Falcor said grant applications are in with Soul Foundation. All right, I got you now. So the Gallia Business Association is pursuing grants with the Soul Foundation. Did I get that right, Falcor?
Yeah, maybe we can leave it kind of generic for now. We're just kind of spitballing off the cuff here.
Yeah, that's all fine. I'd rather right now, and so we can go back and remember what it is that I actually wrote rather than me forget it. So GBA is pursuing grants with Soul Foundation. That is awesome. Cool. Yeah, we should definitely assist if we can. Then we can see what bandwidth we have to support. Right on. That's awesome that y'all are doing that. Okay, I am good on this slide. Anyone else want to add things or talk?
Nope.
There's also
Yeah,
a
just as a
council
heads
studio in
up,
GBA.
because we didn't really see this function being performed organically by the Star Atlas DAO website. Steven Sabal, awesome kind of like freelance economist associated with Star Atlas, created a Flipside dashboard that actually live tracks revenue for the DAO and various other parts of Star Atlas. I'm going to link that in the chat. We can use it for future reference. So it's showing over the course of the past 4 weeks, the DAO took in approximately $53,000 worth of revenue. And I imagine, because we're not seeing these things live updating on the site, that this is going to become more and more of a critical resource for us to track what the existing revenue is of the DAO and the broader ecosystem. I'm going to drop that in chat now.
Sweet.
Is that
Okay.
number on the top right of that graphic, net revenue last month, is that an accurate amount, or isn't that an outdated, or?
It's accurate for December as of 2024.
Okay.
But the stuff that I'm dropping now, it's going to be accurate as of, the past 4 weeks, and it'll track it in real time, and you can use it for more extended data going forward.
Awesome.
I guess the bigger thing is, like, we don't really know who was putting this data on the Star Atlas website, but they haven't been doing it. And so it's probably going to fall to us to find an alternate means of tracking and reporting it. And this dashboard would be a great way of doing it.
I almost hear 2 action items. One is ask Automata who that person is and if they want to keep doing it, or if they're happy to let us have someone in the community volunteer, or just continue
Yeah,
with
and
Flipside.
King Bryan
This-
just said it that Autonoma controls that page, so it can be, they're so busy building that it can be troublesome. So I'm absolutely
Okay.
thinking that we're going to take this on sort of in-house, or create a tool or something. But yeah, I think we're going to have to take the bull by the horns on this. Which,
Okay.
since everything's on chain, it should be fairly simple. And then the ins and outs.
I'm gonna put
Yes.
for us SAC Star Atlas Council -2. I think Bohemian put that in the chat yesterday, and so I can shorthand this. SAC -2 is gonna be us. The second
Oh,
Star
it's better
Atlas
than
Council.
mine.
Yeah, I was like DAOC or something. Oh man, that's the longest acronyms of all time. All right, cool.
I think we should
If
reach
we
out
got
to
nothing
Steven and
else,
see if he can add a refresh button onto his page, because for some reason, most of the flip sides I go to, you can refresh it, but for on his, it's like stuck back in December, and you can't refresh it.
okay.
Maybe
You can
that's
hire
why.
the AFIA guy. There's an AFIA guy that does amazing dashboards there for Star Atlas.
So ask Steven about what do we want, updating or maybe enhancing
Refresh button.
Flipside Crypto?
No. We just need a refresh button. That's it.
Oh, you
The-
literally like hit the browser refresh button? Okay.
No, so on Flipside, you can click a button. Generally, like if you have an account and you go to somebody's dashboard, you can click the refresh button and it will re-pull all of the blockchain data, and it basically makes the data live. Like his data that we have is stuck on December of last year. It's like 4 months old. So the dashboard is kind of outdated at this point. I mean, like the algorithms that aggregate the data work really well, but it's just old data. So we need
I
the
see.
refresh button to make it like current.
Okay,
You could
when I
also
click the
fork
little
his
refresh
code and
button, it
refresh
asks
it.
me. It
Yeah,
wants
if
me
you
to
could fork his
sign into
code, that would
Blockchain
be sweet
Insights.
too.
Yeah, I gotcha. Okay, we can make that an action item, and I know we're gonna get to this in the eventual goals and meeting minutes, but maybe a PIP is in
Okay.
store for supporting some of these long-standing community tools.
Well, you saying that, I have intentions of sending out, and I haven't talked to any of you about it or anybody really. I guess I kind of chatted with Funcracker, but I think it'd be great to put out an RFP, and then Funcracker told me it's more in the crypto world. It's a bounty program. So if we put out RFPs or bounties to create some of these tools, and if we eventually own them, I think that would be really good. But yeah, definitely we have some options, whether it's a bounty or just asking people. But
Yeah, when he said RFP, everybody, that meant request for proposal. It's in the
oh yeah,
commercial business world. All right, that's the last item before we hit meeting minutes. Slide 7. All right, we can roll.
We have
And
on that
hit
last
8.
page, we had something along the lines of just like getting that data right on the page. Ask Steven. I'll add it. We can move on. I don't want to hold us up for
Okay.
that.
Alrighty. So here we go. We started on time, but we definitely got some things. We're all here, right? Drum, Signal, Emperor, Bodhi, and then myself. All right, we're all good to go. Probably should have done this first. Okay, so we have some proposed agenda items. The first one is establishing the structure. Actually, no. Carlos, think introducing each other, ourselves. That's probably
Oh,
more.
there you go. Okay, should I start?
Yeah, go to slide 3, and I'll take like 1-sentence notes of each person.
Perfect. Let's start with
Yeah.
Bodhi then.
Oh, I'm still writing on this last page.
All right. My name is John Carlos. You know me from the first season of this show. I was the baddie. But no, joking aside, my name is Carlos Dugarte. I've been in the first term, and now I was reelected for the second term. So I really appreciate everyone their trust. I hope that means that I was working and I improved things and added value, and that's what I plan on keep on doing. I'm really excited to work with this team. We have been chatting in the last few days and getting to know each other, and it seems a really nice energy, and I'm looking forward to start focusing in different parts now. I was talking to them, and I felt like the first term was very focused on the PEEP structure and the rules and establishing the knowledge base and all this base, and now we can build upon that. And these guys come here with great plans of make everything more transparent and accessible to everyone, and more open and more public. So hopefully that will drive the engagement we're hoping for, so we can keep building this beautiful DAO among the whole team.
¿De dónde eres, amigo?
Oh, I'm Venezuelan. I was born in 1978 in Venezuela. I moved to the United States when I was 22 years old, and I lived there with a few episodes outside of the country, and now a couple years ago I moved to Wales, so that's where I call my residency, though I move around a lot for work.
Nice. Traveling man. Right on. Bodhi, you done? You ready?
Yeah, I can go. My name is Bodhi. I before I got into crypto, I worked in the skydiving industry. I instructed people how to jump, and that's my mentor used to transport gold in his little 182. So he had some friends that were kind of in the whole that scene, and then through them, I learned about Bitcoin. Didn't hop on it because at the time I was like super young, but I had heard about it in like 2011 because they were talking about gold and Bitcoin. And then many years later, when I was more integrated in the skydiving scene and wasn't so focused on like progress in that whole thing, I heard about Bitcoin again, and so that's when I hopped on. And then after a while I got into alts, and then Axie Infinity, played to earn gaming, And that's when I like really found that I really like I like everything about the space. I like the fact that it allows people that don't have money to invest in crypto, which is, in my opinion, the people that need crypto the most, the ability to like work in the space. I think that's really cool. So yeah, I like the play to earn space from an investment perspective, but also from like I just think it's really disruptive in a positive way. And yeah, so been trying to focus on that as much as possible for a long time now. Yeah.
Loves disruption, huh? I
Yeah,
think that's
well, if
awesome, man.
it's
Former
positive, right?
skydiving instructor.
Yep, yep. I got like 5,000 or so. I didn't keep track, so I couldn't tell you exactly how many, but probably like 5, maybe 6,000 jumps.
Dang, man. I've got like 4.
Yeah. Yeah, I do like packing, like rigging for I've like rigged for the military, and I've basically everything short of like flying the plane I can do.
I wouldn't be surprised if we've hit some of the same drop zones.
Oh, I know for a fact. Yeah, we talked. Yeah, you talked about. I think at least one of them.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I don't know if you jumped there, but you knew exactly of a place that I jumped at. So
Yeah, yeah. Right on, man. All right.
So yeah, that puts me next. I have exactly 1 dive under my belt, so there's that. Now, I'm I'm from U.S. Central Time. I live in the Midwest, in the middle, right in the middle of the country. I'm a real estate developer, a building contractor, and I also like to volunteer and give back. I was the volunteer construction manager for Habitat for Humanity for 14 years. I've been really, really involved in our downtown association. So that's kind of the lens that I look at things through, is through all those experiences. An entrepreneur by trade, in addition to, real estate. And I guess if you're in real estate, you're an entrepreneur by default. But we've owned restaurants, part owner of a brewery, thrown a bunch of concerts, free to the public, all those things. So just kind of a mix of a lot. I'm the kind of guy that likes to innovate and think outside the box. And one of the things that I want to do and that interests me about Star Atlas is the governance, like literally why I ran for council. Stuff doesn't always have to be done the same way that it's always been. If nothing ever changes, nothing ever changes. I'm a huge fan of autonomy. I don't like being compelled by anybody or anything, any form of government, any group of people trying to tell me how I can or can't live my life. And that's one of the things I really like about DAOs and Star Atlas. It attracts like-minded people. I think that's what brings a lot of us together. And really intriguing, this experiment. I really like the vision of Autonoma and Michael Wagner's ultimate huge overarching vision. I can really resonate with that. So I don't want to ramble on too much, but that's kind of a high level view of who I am and why I like Star Atlas. So
Solace in the chat. Oh man, this is going out on a
every
stream.
time, bro. Gets me every time.
Right on, man. Right on. I closely relate to what Emperor just said about the governance thing. My background is military, also contract writing, negotiation, and proposal evaluation. So I was basically the one they sent to buy everything from books to airplanes, all over, everywhere. So I did that for many, many years, and now I'm a program manager for software developer or software development for aircraft. So I do all sorts of agile stuff and logistics and finance, and I think So I've been gaming since I was really young, and I think that my top games of all time is Free Allegiance, which is a Microsoft game, and PlanetSide 2, which is still limping along 13 years later, and got a Guinness World Record under its belt until last month when Other Side from Yuga Labs broke it, and they took the record. But I'm huge into organizational management. I love it to death, creating processes and well-oiled machines, and mostly that can like just get stuff done. You can just turnkey with what you want to do, and the process is there to help support you and solving problems up front because we know what to expect from each other and we communicate. And also, as a PlanetSide 2 player, I love combined arms. Like the guild that I was in, or they call it outfits, had 10,000 members in it, and we would employ air, sea, land, maneuverable tactics, and FPS like Battlefield, but with thousands of players playing at the same time. And I did that for many years, and I still do it when I can. I'm mostly a main battle tanker. I'm a tanker, and that's what kind of drew me to Star Atlas. Is when I saw this a while ago, it popped up on my radar as a Web3 project. I've been in crypto for a long time, so I've seen a lot of projects come and go. So I really just kind of chilled at where I was over in Sandbox, and then things just kind of, I don't know. I think I listened to a town hall and I just saw the team dynamic and kind of like what Emperor was saying. I got convinced of the vision and I see where they're going with it. And the fact that they're so open and transparent and their team dynamic is kind of like building the open type. I'm a big fan. And last but not least is I'm a DAO junkie now. Governance and leadership and community and gaming, the bomb. So that is why I ran for council here, because I felt like I could make a difference on that front and just be a good teammate to build the ecosystem. Bohemian asks, am I Oni? I don't think so, although as I'm listening to lore keepers, I think I'm on 4th or 5th now. I really like the Sogmians. I like the way they are. I think they might be Ooster, but I'm still learning kind of the separation of the species. Right now, I'm technically Mud under Club and Bulk, simply because Solace and I have a shared like veteran military background, and he snatched me up right away. So Oni is the way, Emperor says. And that's me. I'm from the United States, East Coast, from the Florida, and I've just been, for the military, living all around, doing all sorts of stuff. That's me.
I guess that
Sigma,
makes
you're up.
me.
That leaves the best for the last.
Matt Foley,
Yeah.
the motivational speaker. Who was it that said that in the
Yeah.
chat?
So I'm Signal. For anyone who doesn't know me, I'm pretty much just like a crazy, degenerate, Star Atlas obsessed crackhead that's been in this ecosystem for the better part of like a couple of years now, since like late 2021, when they were kicking off posters and like some of the original ships and stuff like that. You could just look me up on YouTube if you just type Star Atlas Signal, and you'll hear me talking for God knows 6 to 8 hours about who knows what in Star Atlas with any number of different people. Anything from pips to changes in the ecosystem to funding and runway with the team to financials. I've kind of just become this singular entity that's obsessed with Star Atlas. Somewhere along the lines, my brain got turned into this machine that's only really capable of thinking about Star Atlas and this ecosystem and how to help it and how to grow it. And if I knew how to be more differentiated in my skills and my abilities and how my mind worked, I would. But for better or worse, I'm kind of just addicted to this ecosystem and being here. My background professionally is in everything from psychology to electronics and working with machines to maybe for the past 8 years now, I guess, ops and leadership, leading large organizations and helping to tune things and make them successful and grow. But really, my only interest in running for council and joining council and being a part of this process is how can we grow the ecosystem? How can we expand? How can we create more use cases, more virtuous cycles for Star Atlas game assets? How can we empower content creators and developers to grow this ecosystem even more? I'm very much so of the camp, and there are different camps in this school of thought, but I'm very much so of the camp that us sitting on our hands waiting for the team to deliver value for us is a bullshit strategy. The DAO represents an incredible opportunity for this amazing community to finally deliver the value that we've kind of unofficially been delivering for years. Now, instead of just support, activity, our man hours can actually be force multiplied. I can spend a couple of weeks working on a pip, and it's now turned into this machination that can just run wild through the ecosystem. Like a couple of weeks of work turns into Dowcasters, or a couple of weeks of work turns into like Polis for Pizza or some crazy new meme initiative or something that can actually shake things up and grow the ecosystem and expand the map. The only thing I would say when talking about myself a little bit is like, fuck me. It's about all of you. It's about all of us. It's about what we can build here together. Star Atlas has an incredible vision. It has incredible goals and places that it wants to go. And if you look at that vision and those goals, there's a hole in it. And the size and the shape of that hole is the size and the shape of all of you. It's going to take absolutely every single one of us stepping up, pushing, doing something fucking awesome together to make this happen. And I'm really, really excited to work with all of you. That's me.
That is why you are the motivator extraordinaire. Yay. Cool.
I do what I can, guys.
All right, go back to slide 8. I put a few notes there for that discussion point. Oh, you got to jump out of it again. Oh. Okay, so that's the first one. Dunzo. All right, the second one is establish a structure for each meeting. I feel like we probably got that. Does anyone really disagree with what we're doing so far and how we're doing it?
No, I think we're good for now for today
Okay.
in that one. I think we're working on it, and I'm liking everything so far. We'll obviously whittle it down a little bit, and it won't be quite as robust as it is today since this is our first one. But no, I think
Yeah.
we're on the right track.
Okay, cool. So that one's done, Zoe. And recurring meeting cadence. Do we want to do every week, 2 weeks, every day? How do we want to do this?
Well, it was asked in the chat if we're going to do these live every time, and I responded no. We do intend to have as much open conversation as we can. That being said, I think the one once a week worked fairly well for the last council. It seemed to. I think once a week is bare minimum personally. For now, my goal would be to automate a bunch of stuff and eventually, I'm not saying anytime soon, but eventually, once it's a well-oiled machine, have it not even be once a week, but once a week seems good for me. I don't know if every other meeting or something is broadcast live or maybe just some special meetings or something, but I don't know. What do you guys think with the cadence?
Once a week is good for me, and I vote every meeting we do this.
Yeah, I vote once a week at least, taking into account that we're going to have internal meetings with the foundation and the team, that they're not going to be streamed, and then we can do our public thing when we go back to our duties as a council with the peeps and with the structure and with all these conversations that we were having today.
What do you feel about broadcasting every week? Good, bad, ugly?
Yeah, as long as there's enough work, yes. Like right now, we have a few pips in voting. We have some more than we have to review. So we have good reasons to keep a meeting. If we have a hiatus of pips, we probably will still have things to manage, like the work groups or the Iris bounty, and new pips that will come that will also delegate some work to us. So I think little by little, we're going to find ourselves with enough material to meet publicly every week to handle all these things. But we can adjust, to whatever makes sense at the moment.
Maybe we do like we will have to review pips, and I know some of that might not be live, or it will or won't be, but we'll have to navigate some of that. That's kind of some of the little behind the scenes nuanced stuff. But maybe we will end up, and this is my goal too, to end up with some subcommittees. Like I think Bohemian volunteered himself to help with one of those subcommittees on creating different programs and stuff. It's not going to be all us, but maybe the subcommittee thing could be the more than once a week. If there is, if we do have get-togethers more than once a week, maybe it could be the subcommittee that meets and does something. That's worked really well in the organizations I've been a part of. We've created subcommittees, and that's kind of in the same vein as working groups. I know it's not completely parallel, but that same idea, just a more dedicated, focused group of people, including council members and community members working on subcommittees. But maybe that's the more than once a week thing. I don't know.
Okay. All right, I put that down as an action item.
Definitely some internal things are extra, I think. Like, if we need to get to the foundation and we arrange a time that is convenient for them and for us. And then if we need to make any other, internal meetings to go over something important, that's all extra. But yeah, we should try to at least aim for one meeting a week.
Okay. Bodhi? Is Bodhi muted?
Probably. We can jump
Okay,
to Signal. Oh, there you are.
Yeah, so the weekly meeting, I think that should be internal. We should record it or have, an AI get the notes that we could publicize. After we make sure there's no NDA related stuff, because like Drum said, sometimes we have like the foundation in there or something like that. But since we have the public PIP reviews, which I think are really valuable, generally we did them for the first review, because I feel like it doesn't just benefit the author, but it also it gives the community an opportunity to see kind of how we process a PIP, and then that way over time, after we do a lot of public reviews, then people will understand kind of what like the council is looking for, and it will, I think, improve the PIP, like the quality of the PIPs over time naturally, just by educating more people by doing these reviews publicly. So I think that given the fact we have the public reviews and then we also have the after hours, I think that doing this and the weekly meetings, I think that doing this once a week is going to be too much. I think we should do the public review like for every external PIP, at least until it starts to be diminishing returns. Like once we should be doing that until people start to really understand exactly how to write a PIP. And I think the after hours are, I think that kind of covers a lot of and like
Office
extra
hours.
spaces. Or yeah, sorry, the office hours. I think that covers like a lot of like just whatever might be floating around. So I think that doing this every week, I think is going to be too much, but I do think we should do at least once a month. And I definitely think if we get super swamped and we need to put in more time, we could scale it up, but I don't think we should commit to once a week, seeing as we have these other things that we're doing some pretty regularly. I just don't think we have enough. I don't think we have enough to chew on for all that.
Signal.
Yeah, and maybe we can do this format just kind of as it comes up. Yeah,
I think once a
this
month would
format
be
is
perfect.
potentially, and it could end up being more than once a month, but yeah, maybe we just need to wing it. But yes, I'm sorry, I interrupted before Signal could chime in.
No, you're good, brother. I feel like we should be having this meeting once a week. I feel like it should be public. I feel like the people should do and see everything that we're working on. And frankly, I feel like if we somehow didn't have enough to chew on as a council, if there's not enough going on in the DAO in a week that like we're like, hey, we couldn't even talk for an hour about what's going on, then that should be the topic of the hour, is why there's nothing to talk about. At I think an hour a week and making it public and transparent to the people is a very low level requirement for what we do.
Well, what is unique about this? It's basically like our goals for the week, right?
Right.
That's what really differentiates this from the rest of the things that we are already doing. So
Like, in what scenario would it make sense or be okay for us to go into a week and we don't have a goal for that week? That we couldn't even spend a little bit of time publicly saying this is what we're going to try to do this week.
Oh, we're gonna have plenty to do this week and next
Exactly.
week.
That's
And
what I
next
mean.
week.
So
Yeah.
so how could we not justify, even just like an hour a week to publicly tag up and like, here's what we're going to do, here's what we're working on, here's what we got going on. I think that's so easy. It's such a layup. And frankly, I think everyone who voted for us deserves it.
Yeah, I
I'm
mean,
gonna try to cut it there because I don't
Yeah.
want to be classic Signal and give too hard of an opinion, but that's how I feel. And I think the people that elected us want that. I think they deserve it. And I think we should absolutely every week have an hour's worth of stuff to talk about. And if we don't, we should talk for an hour about why we don't have an hour's worth of stuff to talk about. And with that, I'll drop it and I'll let the conversation breathe.
All right, so I'm gonna recap. Emperor says once a week tag up, but not public. Carlos, once a week tag up, yes, public. Lanzer, once a week tag up, yes, public. Bodhi, once a month tag up, not public. Signal, once a week tag up, yes, public. Did I get anybody wrong?
What is the not public? You're talking. This is the tag up, right?
Yeah, this is the tag up, and we're doing it public right now.
The tag up should certainly be public for sure. I don't know.
Oh,
I mean, I'm just saying, since we have, 3 other things that we do at least, I mean, on a weekly basis. A fourth might be too much, but I'm definitely willing to give it a try.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't.
The only thing that should be private is or that has to have the possibility to be private is the weekly meetings, because we might be discussing NDA things at that point.
Yeah, that's what I was getting to, not the tag ups. Like, if there are situations where we need to talk to the foundation and talk about some other stuff. But yeah, so if we can do these 1 hour, once a week meetings live, I think I'm all on board for that. But every single meeting doesn't necessarily have to be, or shouldn't, quite honestly, shouldn't be, not every single one. I guess that to clarify my stance.
I need safe space to complain about Bohemian, so yeah, I second that.
Yeah, that's
Right,
yeah.
there's some terminology.
Yeah,
I feel like there's a terminology thing we got to work through. When I say meeting, I mean the tag up that we're having right now. I think you're referring to a different meeting.
The weekly meeting. There's a weekly meeting that we need to schedule, that we meet. All 5 of us meet. Generally, we have some sort of representation from the foundation, and the 5 of us, and we kind of go over, basically our goals, what we're working on that day. Like, that's why I'm feeling. I feel like it's really nice to visualize this, but
Yeah,
From
that one is more oriented to us trying to get answers from the foundation and bringing questions that the community pose. Well, they bring ideas that maybe we cannot enforce now, but we can start talking with the foundation and understanding their position on it or their lack of position on it. So and
Okay, so there's a
also we
weekly meeting with
have
the
their
foundation?
communication with Automata.
And we also do a lot of the review. Well, actually, no. We were doing a lot of the secondary reviews on there, but
Okay.
yeah, it's
All right,
mostly
let me see if
just
we got this one down.
what are we working on this week? It's
So we got our
you
tag
know.
up meetings, which goes over goals. It goes over meeting minutes. Then you have a foundation meeting, which is with Automata and the foundation to
Yeah,
talk
let's call it
about.
an internal meeting.
Yeah, internal meeting. It's not really a foundation
Okay, and
meeting.
there's an internal meeting with Automata and foundation. And what do we talk about there?
Anything that we have questions and communication, that we need communication with them, updates on their side, because we lean the DAO leans into Automata for many of its activities because doesn't have the infrastructure, and we always come with a lot of questions on how to handle specific situations and what to bring back to answer people.
I would
Oh,
say
I just realized you
honestly
can't see what I'm typing.
the majority of the time spent during those meetings in the past have been very similar to kind of what we're doing here. We're talking about what we worked on this last week, what we're shooting for next week, what we're doing with our hour. Like the meeting, it's not framed in the same way, but it's very much similar to kind of what we're doing here live right now. And then any questions that we come across with throughout the week for foundation, we pitch those and say, hey, give us the answer next week. But the majority of it is these goals and things that we worked on, where we stand with certain items that we've been working towards.
Yeah, but that's fine because we can separate that, because those meetings used to be with the foundation never more than an hour, and sometimes we would stay there for 2 hours,
Sure.
2.5 hours, because we then needed to talk the other stuff. So I think it would be nice to make public all these in structure and proceedings and minutes and all the advances and what we're working on. And then we can have when the foundation is available, we can have a private meeting with them. That doesn't have to be 2 hours. It can be just 45 minutes, 1 hour.
Okay, yeah, then I change my vote. If we do that and we separate, because like I said, that's the bulk of it. If we can take those meetings down from 2.5 to 1 hour, and then just put all that stuff here and make it public, that's even better. So yeah, we could do weekly for sure. That's why I was just saying it's so redundant, because we're doing that basically the majority of the time in those weekly meetings. But if we separate that out, that's perfect.
Okay. So if we make the tag up meetings right now about our goals, what we're doing each week,
That'll be about
and
an
then
hour
we
for
do the internal meeting with Automaton Foundation as like a coordination meeting where we talk cross org tasks, I guess, activities, efforts. There we go. Cross org efforts. Things that we need to work together on, or things that we need to ask them for support. That sounds like a good separation? Question mark?
Yeah, for now.
Okay.
The separation, yes, but the cadence and the hey, somebody has their mic on.
Brujo, muteate. Brujo.
Yeah, I think it would be figuring out the cadence of public and not. I think we can kind of still navigate through that, but I think we're all on the same page on that.
Yeah, it sounds like for the tag up, which is our external meeting, we do that once a week. And I think Emperor, you're the only one not in favor of being public once a week for the tag up.
No,
He was.
absolutely. It's exactly what Bodhi and Drum were saying.
Okay.
Just those meetings with the foundation, the internal.
Okay.
At this point, we're all on the
And
same
then
page.
Yeah.
for the internal meetings, are those already scheduled, or do we need to schedule those? Like
We
We
need
now?
to
have the usual time that we have been using, which is right after the brew. That's what we have been
okay.
doing.
Gotcha.
Like the
Okay.
one you guys assisted to.
Got it. That's
That
the
is a
one where I
weekly
might
meeting.
not be
Yeah.
able to attend once I start back on my 9 to 5. But
Well, we can
that's
reschedule.
no harm,
Well,
no
we
foul.
That's
can.
up.
We're gonna have to reschedule to a time that works for most of us.
Okay. Well, if it works for most of you and I'm just the odd person out, then I'm fine. I trust y'all. You can back brief me. No big deal.
Yeah, we can
Yeah, we
hash that
normally
out.
record those, so you can always watch record when you cannot attend, because that's sometimes for work I couldn't attend, and I would watch the recording and come back with the feedback.
Gotcha. Okay. So Emperor once a week, tag up, yes, public. So we're all once a week for tag up, yes, public. Are we also all for once a week internal right after the brew?
Yeah, when possible, or whatever time it works for most of us, we can poll that internally.
And we might
Okay.
not have to do it once a week with the internal. It might end up being every other week, but I guess we could start once a week for now. And then
Yeah, in an ideal world, it's nice to have that once a week.
Yeah, I would definitely suggest, because we generally do around 2 to maybe even more hours a week. So if we do an hour here, and then an hour there, then I think honestly it'll be a little bit more efficient to break it up like this. So I think we'll be able to kind of handle everything by doing 2 hours a
And
week.
most of the
between-
work happens in between, when we are not all live in a call, when we're actually doing the stuff.
right.
Okay.
And if we
So it
separate it
sounds
too, like, if we do like Wednesday and Friday, or like Tuesday and Friday or something, where there's a couple days in between, I feel like that will help kind of keep the ball rolling throughout the week too. So that could be a
True.
nice thing.
True. Signal.
Just as a tiny
say you.
little stick poke to the general meeting, it looks like we've got maybe at least 4 more topics on the board and 30 minutes left in our designated time. We can run later or
Yeah.
we can shave things, but just a reminder.
Yeah, I'm okay personally with us just breaking at 2 hours and then picking up the next thing at the next meeting.
Perfect.
But that's just me. Does anyone disagree with that?
that's
Violently
fine.
object.
No, I'm good. I
Okay.
just wanted to make sure we all were looking at the same
Yeah,
thing.
good put. Good put. For Signal, are you good? Do you concur with internal meetings once a week after the brew?
Yeah, that works fine for me. I guess the biggest thing is just if we're having an internal meeting, what makes it internal, etc. And the brews can be tough, obviously. For me, your typical brew's going to land right in the middle of a workday.
Yeah.
At the council hours or the office hours kind of do the same thing. So my ability to jump into those, I'll do everything I can to move everything around in my schedule to be able to jump into them. But
That
the more things we
time,
could do on a cadence like this, where like we're on a Saturday and we're doing this stuff. I mean, I'd even love to see office hours.
listen,
Like where we do
that
this tag up and then other people bring their stuff up and we talk about it. But
that time worked for the 5 consoles on the first term, and we were really widespread between Central European time, the UK, East Coast, Hawaii. So it was really difficult for us to organize. But now,
right. With
4
this
out of
group, it might
5
make sense to
are in the
revisit.
United States, between Pacific and Eastern time, and I spend 3/4 of the year on that side too. So I think there's no problem to do it a little later after you guys are done with work.
Nice, that'd be perfect.
I'm
And I'm sure the
moving back.
people participating would find it more useful too, that it's easier for them to show up to these things.
Well, that's assuming that there's no people in Europe interested.
How about why don't you, Lanzer, why don't you resend one of those polls that you sent out with the times that people are available?
Yeah. Okay.
And specifically for the internal meeting thing. But yeah, wait.
I'd
Yeah, I'll
be
send another
interested
one.
to
Good.
drop one of those types of things in governance chat too, or like in like people who are doing pips. Like I'd be interested to see what our community looks like in terms of who's currently really active in governance and what types of time zones they sit in.
Maybe that can be our first tweet. Hmm?
Yeah, that would be cool. Take a poll.
Right on. All right. So I will send out a when is good for both internal and for the weekly tag up, and then
Yeah,
we'll
can
take
you
those
keep them
results.
separate?
Yeah.
Do two
I'll send
different
out
ones?
separate
Sweet.
when is goods.
Okay, and then once we have that, maybe we can do the maybe Signal's idea. Maybe we can let's put that on the agenda for next week to find out, like maybe for the office hours for the community at large. We don't want
Right,
to
like do the
overwhelm.
times that we have even reflect what our community wants? Or are they
Yeah.
just kind of there?
So Signal, did you volunteer yourself for that action item, or is someone else picking that up?
I'm happy to do it. I don't I can try to use the when is good thing. Does that kind of require people like inherently doxing, or what is it? I mean, I can just get in Discord and start investigating and asking people. You know,
Yeah,
but
just do that.
okay, cool. Yeah. I'll just shake the
Can
tree
you put a
branches.
poll in DAO chat? Is that a
I
thing?
probably can.
So if you put a poll in DAO chat and then you tweet blast out the link or in an image screenshot of the poll, then we'll have that full circle that we're looking for.
Yeah, perfect. Love it.
Cool.
Bingo.
Okay. In DAO chat and screenshot blast as first tweet for whatever our DAO council is. I can't remember which one we were going to do, but whatever it is. DAO council X count. I still call it tweets, so I'm going to have to. And then that means, Signal, are you also creating it, or did someone else say they were doing that?
I don't
The
think we
DAO
worked
Council
through
X
that.
account. I don't think we've
Yeah.
gotten that far.
We
Put
were
it this
working
way,
through the email.
if I had created it, then that would have been me going rogue at this stage.
Okay.
I
The
think
email is
we're
created?
waiting on. Well, I think what would be preferable is to actually have the final, like, if we can get an email account that's council@govern.staratlas.com or something.
True.
That would be
Well, we
ideal. That
can-
way we don't have to transfer anything. But if we can't, if we
can-
run into roadblocks, really like the last council did, then we're just gonna create it under one of the Gmail accounts. I think is where we left it, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I
Okay.
would wait until we have that meeting after you guys are KYC'd and we have that meeting with them for the first time, and we can bring this up and see where we are.
Okay, so then I'm going to put pending first internal meeting, because that's what we're calling it now.
Mm-hmm.
Create DAO Council X account, and that will be Signal. Signal, if I volunteered you wrong, just tell me.
It would be
No, you're
email
good,
first,
brother.
and it'd be email first and then X.
Well, it'd be the foundation. We'd be putting this onto the foundation to do. There's nothing. That's the whole point. Is we need them to do it so that they own it, and that way the new council can just pick up where we left off, and we don't have to like try and transfer it to them.
Okay, there we
Right.
go.
I
put
just want to
pending first
avoid.
internal meeting and issuance of @govern email
And phone
Signal
number.
to create DAO Council X account. There.
We need them to make us a phone number too, because a lot of times you need an email and a phone number, or one or the other, to make different accounts on third party apps.
Okay, phone number it is.
And
then.
maybe-
put that on the list.
Yeah, maybe we can set a time limit. It'll give the foundation 2 weeks, a month. I want to set it at
Well,
2 weeks. If they can't do it within 2 weeks, then we just go rogue ourselves and make it. You just use the Gmail because we
Okay,
can't
so
sit here
after
and
2
wait forever.
meetings, Execute backup COA.
Boom.
Course of
Council
action.
Done.
on.
Yeah, if we
Yeah.
can't get help from the man, it becomes power to the people on that one.
Find a way,
Exactly.
make a way. Cool. All right. And so we have 2 types of meetings. Actually, we have more than 2 types of meetings. We've got the tag up meeting, the internal, PIP office hours, or no, a PIP review, and then office hours.
Correct.
And then PIP review is just where we are comparing PIP drafts against formatting requirements and noting and giving comments. Office hours are what? That's just us being around a campfire, right? Kumbaya talking.
Yep, talking about whatever.
Yeah, I
So
think it's mainly people who
camaraderie.
want to bring like pip stuff to us and ask about it. Like we're making ourselves officially publicly available.
Yeah, AMA and general DAO
Okay.
talk.
Council AMAs and I don't
General
know
DAO
how do you
talk,
say
I
two-way
think.
discussion in a good way.
Yeah.
Though off of the flow of this meeting, the one thing I would say is like if we do our tag up and we put it at like a 60-minute cadence, it might not be the worst thing in the world to keep this 2-hour block and something like council hours happening as like the second 60 minutes of this cadence. Because we got a bunch of people here live. I'm sure a bunch of them would like to ask questions and would like to engage with
okay.
stuff. It might make sense if we're gathering everyone together to see one thing at one time. We could kick off the end of it with like now we're opening up office hours and we can all have a conversation.
That's a super cool idea. And to be honest, I'm okay with doing this public thing on this channel.
Yeah.
Yeah. If we can taper this down, like get our battle rhythm down to 1 hour, 60 minutes for just our meeting, and then the second 60 minutes are office hours, and whoever needs to cut out has to cut out at that point. Sure.
Yeah,
I
then you
like
have
it.
2 hours. It lands on a Saturday. It's easy to take care of it instead of trying to carve out the time. And for some of us, the middle of a Friday or what it's, and you're taking advantage of the fact that we've already gathered everyone here to do this. So we might as well open it up at that
Yeah.
time.
I
That
like
makes
that.
sense.
And
Okay.
we can also go back to that 2 council or office hours. Like I would love to do it during the week at a set time still as well. That's no big deal. Like when I'm driving back and forth from,
Right.
I have an hour and a half drive twice a week. That would be awesome too. So yeah, some set times. No, I love it. I'm not gonna rehash
Cool.
it, but yeah, cool.
And the
So
beauty of it this
council,
way also is because we just reviewed so many different things, it eliminates questions that would have been answered by what we're already presenting. Where someone
Okay.
shows up to an office hours on a different day that didn't see this, and they're going to ask questions about things that we already reviewed. If someone's here, watched this whole review, and then we open up office hours, you would think there'd be less questions that were already answered.
Well, and
You would
it
think,
opens up
you would hope.
it opens up new conversations too. They're
Yeah,
gonna have different things to talk about that that they're seeing, and I think it's a great idea. Where do we fit in the public reviews? Just normally we did them as needed. If a pip came up or a couple pips came up, we would just schedule a public review.
Do you guys think we need a
Generally,
public review?
it was super helpful for. It's not necessary, but it really does help educate the public on how pips are formed, which I think over time it will we'll see benefits. Like for example, there's a couple people who are really active. They after watching a couple pip reviews, they might not be council members, but they can go in and look at a pip and be like, hey, you need to add this, or they see the vision the same way that we see it after doing it a couple times. So they just become, it's educating people on exact like how we process pips.
I
Which
think, if anything, we can dedicate a little bit of time in our tag meeting to address some of that. But I think we need to streamline the PEEP assessment process and make it a little more efficient. Last term we were focused on other things, but we still have a few PEEPs that had a first review weeks ago, and then we gave feedback, and then we haven't gone there and and finished that and make sure that it either complies or gets fixed. So I don't know if the public review is the best way to go, but we can
the public
incorporate when we find it that is a good idea and that we have the time to our tag meeting. That's my recommendation.
Yeah, and I
maybe
would
we make.
agree. I would agree. So like with our downtown association, we had that grant program, and all we did is we assigned reviewers to do it on their own time, and then they just filled out the form? Did it meet this? Did it meet this? Blah, blah, blah. You just went through individually on your own time and then submitted it. I think that could be a really, really good way to streamline it.
I
Do
think
we
we could
have a
use
checklist?
public review as like the final stage of polish too. So like the Dowcasters pip that like I put up, that went into drafts. Funcracker gave me feedback on it right in just in normal writing in the Discord, and I was able to fix a bunch of stuff and tweak it. I didn't actually require there to be some public whole discussion of whether or not there's like things to fix inside my proposal. Like I just got the one-on-one feedback and was able to do it. I do think it would be super valuable though. Like if we consider all of that feedback's been incorporated, someone did all of the work to clean up their pip and now it's like actually ready for vote. That might be worth doing like a recorded public review of that pip. If for no other reason, then other people might just tune in to listen to it just to learn about the pip. It might be messy and time consuming to keep using it as a process of like, oh yeah, well this wasn't quite written right, or this or that. And that's just my 2 cents.
Yeah, the main value proposition is it's not so much to benefit the author. It takes more time, so it doesn't even benefit the council. The one thing that it does, which might not be worth enough to justify doing it, is it gives other people outside of the council the opportunity to learn kind of how the council thinks and how it's structured. Like they're basically starting to think like a council member does when they look at pips.
Right.
That's really
Why
it.
don't you merge?
think
Why
about
don't you
that.
merge that idea with the office hours? And you
That's
can
what I would
review
do.
tips live in the office hour and give feedback. And I think
Yeah.
that's more productive, because otherwise we are just creating another
Extra work.
appointment that we have all to make work.
I personally agree. Yeah. I would
So we're
I
gonna
would combine it.
We're gonna couple our what do we call this thing here again that we're
Tag up.
doing?
Tag up.
The tag
Office-
up. Thank you. So we're gonna couple that with the office hours, and then on occasion we'll throw in a review in there.
Yeah, I think every time
Especially
there's a
since
new
people-
style of tip that will, that is interesting, we can bring it up and we can give the feedback, work with the author there live, open it for everyone to watch, and but
That tends to be what office hours is used for in a lot of places anyway. Meaning you're tuning into it and you're jumping into office hours because you have a proposal you want to work on or ask questions about, or you're trying to move something and you just want general access to counsel to be able to help answer questions for the work
immediate
that you're
feedback,
currently
yeah.
doing.
I like it. Yeah, I think this will work really well.
So can you summarize that for me? I think what I heard was the second half of our 2-hour block is office hours, and then sometimes those office hours will be a public review of pips.
Yeah, if people are coming in asking questions about their individual
Or when the
proposal or
author is
wanting to go through
available.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
that's great.
Okay. So we
And
kind
then
of
you
have like
essentially
an order
turn
or
it all into
hierarchy.
one meeting that people might actually be interested to watch, It's
Okay. So then we can kind of have like a hierarchy where if for that office hours, if there's a pip author there who has questions, then they take precedence.
yes.
Precedence, whatever it is.
Yeah,
Whatever you
and they
think
could
is
put
right.
themselves on the docket ahead of schedule. Like they know office hours is going to happen on Saturday after the tag up, and they can just get themselves scheduled on there where like, hey, I know a bunch of other people have questions. Like, you can always pre-schedule stuff if you have really pressing issues. But like first on the schedule, we have Bohemian with like his particular pip that he's working on for additional council terms, etc. And like he's got carved out dedicated time that was scheduled in advance for the office hours to like ask some questions and go through some stuff.
I like that. I think that works.
You can carve it out into blocks, and it's possible to show up with like no appointment and do a walk-in. But if you do a walk-in and already 4 blocks of time are like pre-scheduled, by other people who went through the effort to schedule them, then you just have to be okay with the fact that they're probably going to have the lion's share of the time.
Gotcha. Okay. I think that's fair. We start with that first. Wait. I'm sorry. Does anyone object to that course of action?
Well, if we're going to be blocking out time, we should have clear criteria. We wouldn't want somebody to come in and be like, "Yeah, I want to discuss this particular topic," and then that ends up not allowing somebody who has a pip that we could review. So I think there should be specific criteria for actually blocking out the time.
I think what they mean is that if it's a pip review, we will announce it so people know that we are actually doing a review that day, and the author is going to be there.
Carlos, go to slide 9.
But I think this simplifies a lot, and I think the ultimate impact of it will be, especially since we're broadcasting it, you'll create 2 hours of content that people will be able to, in one shot, feel really caught up on the DAO once a week, and it'll actually be engaging in something people would want to tune in for.
Or at the very least, create a TLDR of it so they can tune in for a simplified version.
Exactly.
Yeah, 5-minute clip or something.
Yeah, I love that.
If our content creators don't already do it, like Beyond the Horizon, like here's everything that happened this week in the DAO in 5 minutes.
Yeah, if they want to do it,
someone else watches it and makes it. Yeah.
That would have been perfect for Beth.
Yes.
All right, read that back to me now. So the priority for office hours were, I think I heard Emperor call out an exception there that we need to figure out. What was it?
I don't think so.
Oh, I was saying we need. I think it was me that you're referring to. We need to have like a clear qualification for if we're gonna put it into, like, let's say 4 blocks that second hour, and we're gonna give up to 4 people the opportunity to block out 15 minutes. We need to have like clear criteria. I feel like we should generally like want it to be open discussion. I don't think it would be.
No, I agree with you, Bodhi. I think it shouldn't be structured as an appointment, with the exception that if we are going to give feedback about a PIP because the author is going to be there, we'll announce it so people know that, among the open discussion, there's going to be a section where we're actually going to give feedback to the author.
And the author takes precedence over the other general conversation.
But that's the only thing I would announce. Everything else should be, laid back and open, because that has worked well so far.
Yeah, exactly. And we also need to decide, is this just for the first review? Are we going to allow them to do this for multiple reviews? Because we give them feedback and then they go make some changes, and then sometimes it requires a bit of back and forth. So ideally, we can have the majority
one time live thing, and then we can continue. The feedback directly is going to make it more efficient and streamline it. And
right.
People interested, I feel like 95% of it should be individual, and like maybe 5% of it's public,
Yeah, I think giving between 15 and like at most like 30 minutes of that 1 hour. It's just, ideally like more like 15 minutes just to go quickly over, not go into the nitty gritty like we were doing before, but just like, does he have the summary? Does he have the, just the check boxes just right off the bat,
Yeah. Then we should have the answers going in too. Like, we shouldn't do like a live reading of the PIP. It should be like, okay, here's your time. We reviewed it on Friday or whatever. Like, here's what we got for you,
Exactly.
And that way it's much more to the chase, quick back and forth of like, here's what we think you need to clean up, Oh, okay. Would it work if I did this? Yeah, that would probably work just fine. And then we're able to keep going. Versus if we do it as like a live reading, like there's no way you'll move fast.
100%.
True. That's true. So then priority goes to PIP authors who have already been reviewed by SAC.
Bingo.
I don't think PIP volume is going to be a big problem for a while, but if it gets to that point, knocking on wood, we could start then distribute, and rotating people. So someone comes with a summary and then explains to everyone else in the tag meeting what's going on with that PIP.
Gotcha. The only thing that seemed squirrely was 15 minutes per PIP. Did I hear us agree that that's a good way to go?
I don't think we should have a minimum. I think we should have a maximum. I think it should be
Yeah.
like, I think we should at least have 30 minutes for just the general public to interact.
Yeah, I would
Um,
say if we're doing like a quick pip review, like again, because we should have already pre-reviewed it. Like I think 15 minutes should be the max for a pip review slot
and that
in
lets us
office
do 2.
hours.
Then we can do up to 2 and still have 30
And still
minutes
have
left.
community. Yeah, I love it. That's perfect.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Okay,
after that,
cool.
it's
So
open
then at the
conversation, so
beginning,
they can keep asking questions.
at the
Yeah.
beginning of that second hour, then we say, hey, is anyone here a pip author who wants to do pip things? And then if yes, the first come, first serve, that person gets the first 15-minute slot. And then the second person gets the second 15. And if no, then we just roll right into general Q&A and discussions.
And the pre-requirement is if you want to do a pip review, it has to have been pre-reviewed by us. You have to schedule that. Otherwise, you can ask general questions in the 30 minutes, but like an actual public pip review, everyone here should have already seen it, has notes on it, like, and we're coming in like, here's what we got for you.
Yep.
So
And
we
I don't think
avoid live readings.
And I don't think it should necessarily be, framed as a 15-minute slot. I just think we should cap it at 15 minutes. So if the first one only
Absolutely.
took 7 minutes, then we don't need to put an extra 8 minutes on it just to drag it out. We can
Right.
get a third one in if we got 3 really short ones.
100%. Yeah. I'm pretty sure if I came in here to talk about like my pip, you guys had all reviewed it already and had feedback for it. We could go back and forth on it in like 5-10 minutes max and get a lot accomplished. And then I'm walking away knowing what I got to do. So yeah, I think 15 minutes should be the max cap. There's no minimum.
All right.
I think we got a good start. Let's give it a shot.
Yeah, let's fucking go,
Let's
man.
go.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And the last thing,
See
we
what
got
breaks.
6 minutes. We got 6 minutes left. What should be public versus private? I feel like we kind of got into that already.
Yeah.
Tag ups feels like we all agree tag ups are public. Internals are not. Did anyone
Yeah, basically
disagree with that?
internals. Yeah, basically just internals.
And essentially,
Okay.
just so people listening know, like the reason why internals are non-public, half the time is just it's all kinds of other shit that we're not even allowed to talk about publicly, or it's stuff involving things that might be disclosed from team members or this or that. Like even if we wanted those things to be public, we wouldn't allow. It wouldn't be possible to do so. So it shouldn't be taken as, well, now they're going to go hide in a back room, and do this other stuff.
Okay. The only person who I think not even disagreed, had a different take was Emperor said, maybe we do internals, not public, but bi-weekly instead of weekly. He floated that
I think
one.
we're all on the same page now. You can erase that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're
we all have the exact
all
same
of us
perspective.
agree once a week tag up as public and once a week internal, not public. Did I write that down wrong for anyone?
As
Yeah.
well as after the tag up, we're doing an additional hour with everything we just discussed.
Yeah.
Shifting
Sounds
office hours to being the tail of the tag up.
The
Yep.
official
At this
one.
point, the tag up's going to end up being 1 hour, and then office hours is going to end up being 1 hour, and together they are our Saturday 2-hour block.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
Cool.
All
And
right,
I
cool.
think that creates a really awesome thing for people to tune in and just listen for 2 hours once a week and go like, okay, I feel really caught up on the DAO.
Yeah,
They would be.
I'm a fan. All right, so that one, we just killed all 4 of those agenda items. The next one is probably our heavy hitter, which we might want to table until next week, is Emperor's what is our mission statement? And then the DAO Council goals. Then Signal, we're going to go over swim lanes, and Bodhi wanted to lock in transferring social media.
I think we talked about Bodhi's. We touched on it for sure. I think at
because
least
the
all of us
action
are on
items?
the same page. Like we were talking about
True.
getting a hold of the foundation company or whatever.
Hey, I'm doing some updates in the knowledge base regarding the new console because the last post had been about the candidates for the election. You guys don't have access yet until you finally, come all the way in. So I just posted a screenshot for you guys to tell me if that's good to
Sounds
be merged or not.
Bodhi, do you feel like we talked about your agenda item, or is there more to it?
Yeah, we just need to meet when we get the meeting with the foundation. We just gotta, kind of hold their feet to the fire a bit and just be like, "Yo, we need this like right now."
Cool. Cool. All right. We walk in
Yeah, and
with demands.
we can put mine off till next week.
All right. So we just knocked out 5 of them, and with 3 minutes left. So what
Bingo.
sort of thing do we go out on? Do we do like everyone high fives each other? Or do we want to sing a song? How do we...
Oh Jesus! Don't ask Signal.
Yeah, does anyone from the audience just want to chuck something out there super fast?
Yeah, because you can just unmute yourself.
You've got 2 minutes.
Yeah.
If you'd like to talk,
Open to
please
any
do.
questions? Yeah.
Anybody?
Any compliments?
Oh Jesus!
I'm just kidding. My mom used to say that all the time. She used to be a ropes course facilitator. She'd be like, "Anybody have any questions, comments, compliments?" You can squeeze that one in there.
We've probably closed the window on that at this point anyway, given our time constraints. But yeah, just I think we have a really awesome team. I mean, even just this format and the way that we went through this stuff, the fact that we quickly tackled a whole bunch of different items cooperatively and publicly, and in front of a bunch of different people at once, I think we've got a capacity to get a shit ton of stuff done and have a huge impact. And looking forward to working with all of you in the community. And I think we got something special here.
Yeah, and
Say
if
that's as
anyone
far as any.
anyone has feedback, just let us know. I love jumping in, voice chat, and all of that, and even in the chat here. So if you feel like something's going sideways, you just got to let us know. We don't know what we don't know, and we're always open. So
Right on.
Vivi, you are dismissed.
Thank you
And-
all for your time.
and I will say, hold
go,
on,
team,
Lanzer,
go.
before you wrap up, Lanzer, thank you for putting this together with your social media skills, your streaming and all that. Thank you for doing this. We appreciate you
man.
for doing it.
I love it.
We
Yeah,
should
that's
get
really good
Atlas
stuff.
Minor to play at the end of these.
Absolutely.
Thank you
That
guys
was
for
really
Go, team,
stepping
go.
up.
All right. See y'all.
Bye.
Take care, guys.